Good evening from NYChessKids. My name is Saudin. Now, in this lesson, I'm going to introduce you to Greek gift. This is a lesson on Lee chess, and we'll see what the idea with the Greek gift is. Pay attention on the black knight is not on f6, not protecting the king. So it is very important to have a black knight on f6. Because the pawn on h7 is protected. Now, in this case, the pawn on h7 is a target. And what do we need for this combination? We have a bishop on the diagonal. We have a knight. That's an important piece. Queen. And this bishop we need for support. So when we sacrifice this bishop, look, we're not going to play like knight g5, right? This is the combination. This is called Greek gift combination. You take, sacrifice the bishop, and now when the king takes, we play knight g5. You see, the bishop supports our knight, and then the queen would get to h5. So pay attention. Let's say now king goes to g8, right? Our queen can go to h5, and next move, queen h7, checkmate. Now, you are advanced players, so how about you follow me through this, because the computer is not going to allow me. Computer plays a move here, queen g5, sacrifices the queen because he knows he's going to be checkmated. But follow me. Knight g5, king goes to g8, queen h5. Let's say rook goes to e8, right? Then we can play first queen f7 check, king goes to h8, we come back, queen h5, king g8, queen h7 check, king f8, queen h8 check, king e7, and queen g7 checkmate. Hopefully you can follow me, right? You can set up this on the chessboard, right, and go through that. Now, if the king goes to g6, we could play here queen g4, right? And then so many different moves, right, that we could play. Knight e6, discover check, right? Even h4 and h5. So that's a winning position for white. So black doesn't have a move here. Black cannot go to h6 because there's a discover check, knight f7 or knight e6. That's the Greek gift. So instead of playing knight g5 in this position, instead of playing knight g5 and attacking on h7, you sacrifice the bishop and then you play. But again, do not sacrifice unless you have a support. You must have a support. Like bishop has to be on c1 because otherwise queen is going to capture your knight, right? And when you play knight g5, queen goes to h5. So that's it. Right? Of course, here you are winning because the queen was sacrificed. Let's see the next one. Okay, now we don't have a bishop on c1 for support, but we have a pawn on h4 to support us. So the knight can still go to g5. Now the key for the Greek gift is the pawn on e5. You see, again, the knight is not on f6. And in this case, knight even cannot come to f6 because you will take that knight, right? So again, we have a setup. We have a bishop on d3. We have a queen that can join the attack. And those two pieces here, knight on h3, h4, and of course e5. That's what we need, right? So again, we can sacrifice bishop h7. And now if the king takes on h7, we would play knight g5 and queen h5. That's what we do, right? If the king goes here, then you can just play a regular move, queen h5, right? And black again plays. Computer plays sacrifice of the queen, but if he doesn't, then you just play bishop g6, discover checking, queen h7, right? Here, of course, you are winning. Okay, so even in that case, it works. So let's go back and just see what was different. The difference is that there was no bishop on c1. We had this pawn on h4 for support because you need a knight on g5. Knight has to jump to g5 in this kind of Greek gift position. Let's see the next one. Now, of course, this one is more complicated. It's not that simple combination here. But one thing that's happening is, see, we are looking. If nothing, we know we like here we don't have a knight to go to g5, but this is a kind of variation, advanced variation of the Greek gift. So let's look at this. Bishop takes on h7, king takes, and then queen h5 check. King goes back to g8. We take bishop e5. Queen takes on e5. Queen f7 check. King has to go to h7 or h8, and now there are two ways to win. One way would be to take queen b7, you are 2 pawns up. But the other way would be to play rook f5, check, attacking the queen, and then rook h5. Right? That's a simple move, rook f5, rook h5, because the king is in trouble. Right, now queen e3, check, you go king h1, queen e1, you take rook e1, queen e1, and you play rook f1, and you protect your king. So that should be calculation. Let's do it one more time. Bishop h7, king h7, queen h5, king g8. Bishop e5, queen e5, queen f7, king h8, rook f5, queen e3, king h1, queen e1. There's no other move, right? There's no other move unless you want to play queen h6 and sacrifice the queen again. Rook takes e1, rook takes e1, rook from f5 goes to f1, rook takes f1, queen f1, and you are winning because you have a queen against the rook and a bishop. So that's the combination. So let's check it out. We play this move. We take and queen f7. Now again, I'm telling you, you can also win by queen b7. It's a cool move. You're 2 pawns up, you are winning for sure, especially because this king is in trouble there, open. But this one is winning for sure because you have rook h5. Right? There's no defense against this move. And king h1, you are safe. Right? You take, and you go down, protect your king, and queen f1. You are better, of course, because queen against rook and a bishop plus pawn up, easily winning, right? Okay, so let's see this one. Now here, look, here again, an advanced variation. The lichess, they go from a very simple one to a very hard one, right? I am going to make some Greek gift positions maybe for intermediate 1 and intermediate 2 and advanced level so that they are a little bit different, right? Now look, here, we have a setup. We have a bishop on the diagonal. We have a knight on f3. We have a queen that can join us. And in this case, of course, we also have an important pieces like rook and those 2 pawns here. Right? They can join us as well. We have a bishop that can support the knight when the knight jumps to g5. So the combination here is a little bit different, right? So let's say we take bishop h7, king takes, and then we push the pawn to g6. Now, of course, the black can capture with a pawn. He can capture with a king. If he takes with a king, he may be in trouble because queen d3 is coming, and there's no good move for black because he has to play king h5, then queen f5, and he's nearly checkmated there, right? Now, if he takes with a pawn, then we play knight g5 check. He has to go back to g8, and then we play queen f3. And the problem is the black doesn't have a good defense against the queen f7. The game is quite uneasy here for black also. The pawn can be pushed to e6 and black in a trouble. So for instance, there are checkmating patterns here. You push pawn to e6, and then you bring the rook to e4, and you play queen f7, rook f7, pawn takes on f7 check, and when the king goes to h8, rook h4 checkmate. So that's what can happen, right? So now look, when you are looking at this position, of course you have to calculate all this. If nothing, you have to have some ideas what can happen. Now you cannot see all the moves, but you have to have a good idea that the checkmate there could happen because you have all the setup, you have all the pieces. So basically, this is the idea. This is the key move, right? You have to push the pawn, right? Because when you push the pawn, now this setup is coming, right? And you see here, queen f3. What do I want with queen f3? Look, he's sacrificing. Let's go back. What do I want? I want to play queen f7 check, right? bring the rook to e4 and play a rook h4 checkmate. That's what it is, right? And it's going to be very difficult to stop that, right? So that's the idea. That's the idea of the Greek gift sacrifice. Let's go to the next one. Okay, here it's a little bit different. Here, this position requires like a double rook sacrifice. I mean double bishop sacrifice. So basically, we are thinking about bishop h7, king takes h7, queen h5, king goes there, and then bishop takes on g7. So we are sacrificing this bishop. That idea comes from one of the Emanuel Lasker games, and and then if the king takes on g7, you would play queen g5 check, right? Important check. King goes to the corner or h7, and then you bring the rook to c4 and play rook h4 checkmate. So that's the idea, right? Now we have this. You have to calculate. Calculation is the key. Look, you're not going to play those moves if you don't calculate. You have to be sure that this is working. So let's see one more time. Bishop takes h7, king takes, queen h5 check, king goes to g8, bishop g7, right? So we know if he takes, we play queen g5 and then rook c4. Okay, that I don't see any move that he can play to stop that. Now bishop g7, he may play something else, right? We are threatening queen h8 checkmate. So let's say he plays f5 because he wants to run away. But then in that case, we could play queen h8, king goes to f7, and bishop takes on f8. And when rook takes on f8, queen h7 makes a skewer. Check, king goes to e8, and you take queen c7, the queen. Okay, now, when we see all that, then what you do, you just calculate one more time to make sure that everything is fine, that you did not miss something, right? So check it out. For a couple of seconds, you just go quickly through that, and then you play the move. Right, you take. And when you have this, you play them very fast. Look, those moves you play fast because you already saw them, right? Yeah, and that's the end of the combination, right? We are winning here. Now, let's see this one. Okay, here we need to defend ourselves. So we have to play a couple of moves to defend ourselves. And what's great about this, you see, the white has a setup, right, with the knight coming to g5 and queen coming to h5. But we also have here two knights. If it would be just one knight, then there is no defense. But because we have a two knight, the knight can come to f6 and defend this h7 square. So basically, if you take king h7, knight goes to g5, we play king g8, queen h5. He wants to checkmate us, right? Then we can play knight f6, pawn take on f6, and we play knight f6, and we defended this position because there's no checkmate here. But it's not the end because he can play queen h4 and then knight e4, removing this knight. So he wants to checkmate us. But then we can bring the bishop into the defense. You see, when you defend yourself, you also have to bring all your chess pieces into defense. Otherwise, you don't have enough power to defend yourself. So we'll have to bring the bishop to f5 and defend the h7. So we go back, and then we have to play knight f6 because with this move, right, knight f6. Now, okay, there's no checkmate, but there's a threat. The white wants to play knight e4, take on f6, and then play queen h7. That's dangerous. So what can we do here? I'm going to show you two different lines here. Look, you could play rook d8 and run away, but it's not going to end up very well, right? So e5 is a quite good move. Sorry, I'm sorry. E5, and then you can play bishop f5 right away. This is the correct move. because we have to give something. We have to give this pawn, but now you are safe. The bishop is protecting you. If the knight goes to e4, you simply can take, right? So here you jumped with the knight, and you are fine here. This is okay. Now you are protected, and this knight has to go away because this knight problem on g5, right? Let him go away by playing f6, and now you continue the game, right? But you defended yourself. You didn't get checkmated. What else? Oh, I wanted to show you that other line. That's not bad. Also to see, if he would play rook d8, it's okay. But the problem is 94. 94 is very unpleasant. So let's say we take, right? But then this move, and the white has no attack because here there is this 96 move that's very big trouble for us. We have to take, otherwise we're going to lose the queen, and then there's a secure. That's the problem. And you play king e7, and he takes on a8, and white ended up in a better game. So you see, that's a little bit about the defense. See that move bishop f5 that we played, we gave the pawn for free, but we defended our king. So this is the Greek gift from the Lee chess study. I think it's good. You have to see this on your own, and just play through this. Look, you play with a computer. You go to the same study and just play and try different variations. Look, even if the computer gives you a red light, it's fine. You have to try to defend yourself, try to attack. And the best would be if you calculate first and then move the pieces. So try to visualize the moves, couple of 6-7 moves ahead, and then you just play them. Okay, kids, see you. Great gift. Good. This was fun too. Bye bye.